friends, Robin here with Matman and Robin. Welcome to the channel where I like to inspire, encourage, and include you in packing Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes year round. Today's video is a collaboration. Actually, it's an international collaboration. We were talking and we thought it would be nice to do a video about what is not allowed to go in our boxes, but from the perspective of the country that we're in. So this video is going to be about what is not allowed in Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes in the year 2022 in the United States of America. The other collaborators that we're going to be doing this with are Nichole and Charlotte's Shoeboxes. To be fair, Charlotte shot her video a few weeks ago and has already uploaded it, but we asked her permission to include her in our collaboration. And the other creator is Nichole. This was actually all her idea, and she is up in Canada. And so each of us are going to do a video to help you guys to know what is not allowed to go in our shoeboxes this year. I think it's great to double check every year because things change. And so while I did a video similar to this last year, it's really important that I do another one this year. I do want to start off by saying that this video is not intended to discourage you at all. I don't want to shame anybody or make anyone feel guilty about things they packed in the past or things they're planning to pack in the future. In fact, it's the exact opposite. I want this video to be freeing for you. I know so many times we pack boxes with packing parties or church groups, or we have friends that give us suggestions, or even us YouTubers that state our opinions as fact. And I think a lot of times people can be confused by what is and isn't allowed. So it's my hope that this video frees us from all of those would-be rules out there. Now, I will say that if you are packing with a group or with your church and they have specific guidelines, please be respectful of those as well. But going forward, what I'm going to do, I printed the internet. This is exactly verbatim what is on Sumaritains Purse, Operation Christmas Child website. And I'm gonna go through and we're gonna talk about each point. And I am going to say verbatim what they say. And then if I want to add anything that is my opinion or a personal preference, I will be sure to let you know that that is just my opinion or just what I think that line item means, because I don't want to put any confusion out there. So, I got a piece of ice with that one. Let's get started. I do want to say that, honestly, Operation Christmas Child doesn't have that many restrictions in reality. Once you get to the distribution center, if you are a volunteer that is getting to work in checking shoeboxes, really they just tell you no liquids, no food, and no war-related items. And everything else is kind of left up to the knowledge of the person who is going through the box. And each table of people who are inspecting the boxes, each table has a lead volunteer who is assigned by Sumaritains Purse and stays at that table all week to help and be kind of the final say. So if you are questioning whether something is or isn't allowed, double check the rules, but then also know that ultimately it's going to be up to the checker at the distribution center. So I want to go through exactly what Operation Christmas Child said, and this is pretty much the only thing that they say. They say, do not include candy, toothpaste, gum, used or damaged items, scary or war-related items. We'll get to all of this more in depth in just a second. Such as toy guns, knives, or military figures. Also don't include chocolate or food, seeds, fruit rolls, or other fruit snacks, drink mixes, powder or liquid, liquids or lotions, medications or vitamins, breakable items such as snow globes or glass containers, and aerosol cans. So when you go to the what not to pack, that's all they say. To dig deeper to find out more clarity on some of these things, you have to go to the frequently asked questions, and there are a couple other places on there where they talk more specifically and get into it, but that's really it. Don't include food, don't include war-related items, and don't include liquids. Now, let's break some of this down and go through what they explain a little bit more in depth. They say no Vaseline. They say no scary items. I feel like this one is the one that is the most up for debate. They say scary items are things that will frighten a child rather than bring them joy. So it doesn't specifically say no Halloween. It just says nothing scary. So I wouldn't want to include like a werewolf monster with blood hanging off of his fangs, but other monsters are okay. This is a perfectly fine monster, which could be considered a scary item to some people, but this is definitely not scary, and this is going in one of my boxes, so this is very much up for debate. In fact, here's a Halloween item that I will include in a box at some point. It's an amazing bead kit from, see, it says right there, Halloween on it. But this is not scary at all. It's just a little pumpkin with a jack-o'-lantern face and some beads. So use your discretion. Again, that was my, those were my personal opinions of things that I don't think are scary that I will include. But to you, those might be scary. So this is one of those times where just use your discretion and realize that when it gets to the distribution center, if the person checking your box and the table leader think that item is too scary, it could be removed from your box. The next thing they say is no war-related items, such as toy soldiers, military vehicles, or wearable camouflage. So this one is really interesting to me because I packed a Black Panther box this year, and I love Black Panther. I love that character. I think he is so encouraging, but part of his story is that he goes in and defeats people committing war crimes. And I included a coloring book that had images of Black Panther stopping these war criminals. So I ripped out those war-related pages in the coloring book, and the rest of the coloring book was perfectly fine because it was just about T'Challa and the Black Panther and the whole story. So be careful in coloring books and things. Just make sure you're not including any of those war-related items. Something that you might want to include instead of a toy soldier, maybe a action figure. This Batman is perfectly fine. Instead of a G.I. Joe, include a large action figure, not a toy soldier. Now, they do go a little bit more into depth about camo. I will read to you exactly what they said. Camouflage or military-related items. Wearable, traditional camouflage is not allowed. Pink or bright colored camouflage is okay. Camouflage pencils or other non-wearable items are likely fine to include. Not that likely part. Again, it's where it's going to be up to the packer. The words Army, Navy, and etc. are also acceptable when not part of a wearable camouflage item or military-related toy. So I hope that sums it up. No Army cars, no Navy t-shirts, but if you want to include a pad of paper and a pencil that you picked up from an Army recruiter, that's probably okay. No regular camouflage, but a water bottle with a strip of pink camouflage on it might be okay. The next thing in here not to include is liquid paint sets or liquid glue. So many of those amazing craft kits, especially the ones you get at Michael's on clearance or the ones you can pick up at Dollar Tree, include little tubs of paint or little, not sticks of glue, but little like packets of glue for the project. We cannot include those items. So if you do buy those, be sure to pull out the glue and pull out the paint and put a little note so that the inspector will see that you have already removed those items, because sometimes they might remove the whole kit instead of just the paint. Another great thing that you could include instead of liquid paint is dried watercolors. So you could get the kind that we all had in grade school that come in like a set of 12 little ovals with colors, or these are great fun too. This is a book, and at the bottom of each page, this is a tiny bit of watercolor. You just use your paintbrush, dip it in water, and you can create your masterpiece on here. So this is a great way to include a paint set that is not liquid. The next thing that is not allowed are those rubber bouncy balls that are filled with liquid. They're so tempting. I've even caught myself putting them in my shopping cart before, and my brain went, wait a minute, we can't include that liquid ball in there. They break so often, and they could ruin not just the contents of your special box that you packed, but the entire contents of the container, the box of like 12 other boxes. So we're just not going to include those liquid bouncy balls. Liquid lip gloss is not allowed, but something we can do is chapstick. So just be sure that it is not medicated like this. No medicated instead of liquid lip gloss. We cannot include matches or fire starters. And kind of in that same realm, toolkits are kind of a, sensitive topic. You have to be really careful what is in your toolkit. I'm going to read what Operation Christmas Child says. It says, toolkits, multi-tools, no blades. Most tools are fine with the exception of knives, saws, razor blades. Hammers, nails, screwdrivers, etc. are fine. So please, please be careful with those multi-tools. I know so many of them are great, but a lot of them also contain a little pocket knife in there. So please don't include the multi-tools that have the knife in them. Kayla Beretta, who is a missionary in Colombia, told us a story about how one of her kiddos, they had been struggling with staying on the right path and staying away from gang violence, and she was quick to grab the multi-tool out of his box before he got to it, and it did have a blade in it. So that's just one reason to not send blades. The next thing on the list is seeds. It could be so much fun to make a garden box. I know Sharon from East Coast Stories does a secret garden box every year, and wouldn't it be so cute to include some like rose seeds, but we cannot, and that's for customs reasons. We can't cross-pollinate our agriculture with their agriculture. So the next thing on the list that's kind of in the same genre is sand, rocks, and shells gathered from nature. While they're really cute, we just cannot send them. This is what they say specifically about seashells. Store-bought items such as jewelry, picture frames, or other decor that includes seashells on them will be okay, but seashells that are personally collected from nature are not allowed. So I know that people might use these for game pieces or for decorations inside their box, But we just have to get creative and use other things. Maybe get some foam stickers shaped like seashells. Or if you want to decorate, get some brown felt and make it look like sand in your box. But don't use those actual natural products. The next thing on the list is all types of food, candy, or gum. Y'all, last year when I was at the distribution center, I pulled out so much candy and it broke my heart because I know that those packers were very well intended and that they probably selected the perfect candy for that box, but it's not allowed because of customs and because it could expire or because it could melt and ruin the box. So it's just not allowed. Kind of on the topic of food, if you are at home making maracas or bean bags, Samaritan's Purse has a little tip for you. Any homemade items that are filled with filling must have synthetic fillings such as plastic beads or pellets. Rice, beans, rocks, aquarium gravel, wood pellets, etc. are not allowed. Again, we cannot cross-contaminate our stuff with their stuff. A note regarding filling can be included for clarification during the processing, and that's what Samaritan's Purse says. We also cannot include medications or vitamins or toothpaste, but you can include a toothbrush. In fact, it's recommended. So these are my favorite toothbrushes to include. You get 2 for $1 in the travel section at Walmart, and it comes with a cap for sanitary purposes. We cannot include nail polish, but you can include these nail stickers. And even sometimes at Dollar Tree, they will have packs of nail art that goes over your whole fingernail as if it was nail polish, but it's a sticker. So if that's something you want to include for a little girl, be on the lookout for something like this instead of nail polish. We cannot include money or play money. Again, if you have some sort of a game that needs currency, you need to rethink that because we cannot include money in our boxes. In fact, a long time ago, Samaritan's Purse used to ask us to send in our donations on the top of the box. And so some people still do that. And while there is nowhere on the website that says we cannot do that, they say repeatedly that they recommend you make contributions online or by mail. Online or by mail, online or by mail. And it no longer says that we should put the money in our boxes. In fact, it says no money in our box. So if you are going to make your contribution, please do so online or by mail. The next 2 things that we cannot include always intrigue me. We cannot include baby powder or baking soda. I guess I am not knowledgeable enough to know why those would be included and what their benefits are, but be sure not to include those. You can include pretend baby powder with a doll. I had one that came with like just a fake plastic bottle that had nothing in it. That's okay, but not actual baby powder. Also, we cannot include razors or shavers of any kind, and no liquids or lotions. Oh my gosh, my heart broke. One year I was at the distribution center and somebody, you could tell they meant so well, put in a full bottle of mouthwash, a full bottle of shampoo, a full bottle of conditioner, a full bottle of body wash, a candy bar, and I can't remember, there was one thing left in the box after everything had been taken out that wasn't allowed, and my heart was broken because that person sent in a box and nothing really that they sent got to go to that child. So please be sure not to send any liquids. I will say we still did find filler that was available, so we filled up that box. So her intention still went on and a child was still blessed. And the items that were not able to be utilized in the box went to a local charity. I'm not sure where, but they tell us that it goes to like women's shelters and homeless shelters and food pantries, etc. So if you do take something out, it doesn't get discarded. The next thing on the list is soap. Oh, soap. Always the drama. I'm going to read verbatim what Samaritan's Purse says about soap. At this time, there are no specific requirements for packing a bar soap. However, bar soap is an item of increasing regulatory concern. It's best to keep soap in its original packaging with an expiration date of at least 6 months after collection week. For the same reason, homemade bar soap is discouraged. However, bar soap will not be removed from your shoebox gift regardless of what kind or how it is packed. This is my favorite bar soap to get. It is a 3-pack of Jergens from Dollar Tree. Once you take it out of this plastic, it is still in its original packaging. But there's not an extra box around it to create extra trash for the child. They can just burn this paper, and it takes up less room than a box. So this is my favorite soap to include. I dropped it, obviously. Ugh. The last few things on here is no breakable items or glass containers. In the beginning, if you will remember, I mentioned snow globes or vases. I had to take out some really pretty collectibles that someone had contributed last year. Little ceramic kitty cats and angels, and it made me really sad that I had to take it out. So please be sure not to pack breakable items. Also, don't include aerosol cans, whether that's an adhesive spray or a body spray or some type of a cleaning product. No aerosol cans. And the last thing on the list that they say that we cannot use are used clothing and toys. So again, this is kind of controversial. I know some people do get items from thrift stores. A lot of them will sometimes only buy things new with tags because it's obviously never been utilized. People sometimes get stuffies at thrift stores. I think, you know, you can even find those that still have the new tags on them. But just remember not to send dirty or broken or obviously used items in your boxes. That's verbatim. No used clothing or toys, what Operation Christmas Child says. So use your discretion. So that is it. That's all that they say is not allowed. Notice there was no mention, like I said, of Halloween items, no mention of food items, whether that's play food. Okay, wait. There's a lot of mention of food items. No real food. No real food. As far as play food goes, there's no mention of not being allowed to send that. So if you wanted to send a set of play fruit, or if you're sending a Barbie and it comes with little Barbie food, or if you're sending a pack of stickers and they have oranges and apples and bananas, there is no regulation on that from Samaritan's Purse. And the last thing on that was not mentioned are fantasy items. I know a lot of people have personal preferences, and you should pack to your personal preferences. They're beautiful. They make each box unique. I just want to clarify and give everybody freedom out there that magical creatures, mythical creatures are allowed. You can pack a dragon, you can pack a mermaid, you can pack a unicorn, you could pack a leprechaun. Those things are allowed. So just so you know, use your discretion. If you don't believe in packing those kinds of items, that's perfect. Your box will be beautiful. But if you do love unicorns and you want to pack a unicorn box, that's perfectly fine. Now, at this point, if all you were interested are the no-nos, that's the end of that list. However, they did clarify a few things that we have frequently asked questions about. These are things that are allowed. So I'm going to show you some things that are allowed that maybe we have questions about in the community. So the first thing, again, a reminder, all of this stuff is for USA in the year 2022. These could totally change, and they're probably different per country. So for USA in 2022, we are allowed to use playing cards. So I love these. These are my favorite cards to include. They're from Dollar Tree. We also can include batteries. So what they say here is batteries in original packaging or with both ends taped. So if I wanted to include batteries, I could include them just like this. This is perfectly how they're packaged. Or I just keep like a little roll of masking tape in my cart. And if you wanted to include just 2 batteries, this is what that would look like. You just take them out and tape up both ends. So either way, this way or this way, but not just free-floating batteries in your box. Okay, the next things that are allowed for sure are wet wipes or plain alcohol pads. So here are some wet wipes and alcohol pads. I never include these, but they are allowed. Next is toy spiders, bugs, snakes, basically all the creepy crawlies. These guys are good to go. This is from Tracy. Thanks, Tracy. Superheroes or other licensed characters. So earlier I mentioned, oh, Batman here. He is a superhero. He is totally allowed. However, if he came with like a gun, I would not include the gun because that could be considered a war-related item. But just this action figure as he is, completely allowed. 2 other licensed characters that I know we get a lot of questions about would be Star Wars characters. This girl here, she is perfectly fine, perfectly allowed. Star Wars is one of those licensed characters that maybe the little character could come with a gun. Just don't include the gun, and the character is perfectly fine and even on the okay list. And the last character that I know there's lots of controversy over her, but she's a licensed character and she's allowed, is Ariel. She is a mermaid, so if you don't like to pack magical creatures, and also she only wears a swimsuit and has a fishtail. So I think those are the 2 reasons that make her a little controversial. But I love packing Ariel. In fact, this came from my stash, so. The next thing that is on the okay to pack list is items with company logos. So if you have a company that has a lot of pins, these are perfectly fine to pack in your boxes. These are just my work pins. Just know that they might give this phone number a call. So be sure it's an okay thing to send. Like, maybe not sending, I don't know, bad places. I can't think of it something that I wouldn't send, but maybe not Domino's or something. They could try to call Domino's and order a pizza from wherever they are. I don't know. Just be mindful that the phone number is or could be on there. Next is scissors. So of course you can pack these big mambo jumbo scissors, or you can pack the kid size scissors, which is what I typically pack. You can pack sewing scissors, you can pack first aid scissors, you can pack shop scissors or kitchen scissors. All kinds of scissors are allowed, but no pocket knives, blades, or saws. The next thing on the list is squirt guns. So this one can be a little bit confusing and might be one of those things that a inspector could possibly take out of your box, because it specifies that they have to not look like real guns. So if you're familiar with the 90s, like a super soaker style gun, if it was small enough, could fit, because that does not look like a real gun at all. It's obviously a water gun. But the little handheld pistols that you squirt like this Oftentimes they're shaped like real guns, and it's just not allowed. The next thing are glow sticks. So be on the lookout for glow sticks after Halloween. They'll go on clearance, and that's a great time to pick up glow sticks if you want to put them in your boxes. Compact mirrors are allowed. It's my recommendation to be sure that they are fully compact, because again, that's going to be up to the inspector. If you just have a flat mirror, sometimes they will take them out because the possibility of breaking, but if it's in a compact, it's safe from breaking. So that's my tip on the compact mirrors. Lip balm, again, just make sure it's not medicated. Look how fun and sparkly this one is. So much fun, the lip smackers. Just be careful, like if you get it at Dollar Tree or something, those multi-pack ones, sometimes they're medicated, so be careful. Play-Doh, Play-Doh is allowed. So here's the little Play-Doh from Dollar Tree. It smells like childhood, but these are a lot of fun. They are allowed. Solid stick deodorant. So this one is allowed, and I honestly have never sent this before, but Kayla, the missionary in Colombia, says that she would rather kiddos receive this than a bar of soap. Isn't that interesting? I think soap is more readily available, and she said that deodorant is more expensive, especially when they worked in a rural area, more like in the jungles of South America, that deodorant was very difficult to get and very expensive. So maybe in the future, I'll pack some deodorant. Also, makeup is allowed, non-liquid kind though. So this powder would be allowed. It is new, so we don't want to send them used powders and stuff, but we can send solid like lip stuff and powdered makeup, but no liquids. No liquids. Adhesive bandages. Sometimes when I have the extra room, I will throw a few of these in the hygiene kit that I make for them. Disposable or reusable feminine hygiene products. Yes, 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 these are allowed and encouraged. This set was contributed by Angie, and she got it off Amazon. It comes with a wet bag and 6 different reusable menstrual pads. OCC gives them their thumbs up. These are allowed. Eating utensils. These are allowed. I get these at IKEA. And the last few things, marbles. They are glass, and so people ask questions about them a lot, but marbles are definitely allowed. This is a great set contributed by Jessica from Foothills Family, also from Amazon. And the very last thing that people ask about a lot that is allowed are Bibles or other religious literature or symbols. And I try to include something that is faith-based in every box. So here are 2 small examples that I know could fit in any box. I get these wooden crosses from Hobby Lobby. They are the Playside Creations brand, and they go half off frequently. So you can pick up like 50 of these for just a few dollars. And then this piece of jewelry I absolutely love. This was contributed by Izzy. It's a beautiful stone pendant and a leather necklace to go in a box. And I just tried to include something simple like that in every box. And that's it. There you have it for this year's Do Not Pack list. I hope that this video gave your heart a little bit of freedom to pack however you feel led. If you want to be more restrictive than OCC, that box is still going to bless somebody. And if you want to push the limits and put in something that is technically allowed but could be taken out by the inspector at the distribution center, you can go ahead and pack that way too. Just please be respectful of the solid rules. The 3 major ones that OCC tells us at the distribution center are no food, no liquid, no war items. And that's it for today, guys. I had so much fun doing this with Nichole from Canada and Charlotte from the UK. Please go check out their videos. They are linked below. And if you are coming to me from their channels, welcome. I'm so glad to see you. That's it for today. And in case no one has told you, I love you lots.